What were the hidden strategies and shocking revelations behind the Falling Star Pavilion's desperate attempt to form an alliance against the Hall of Souls? Well, what seems like a straightforward alliance-building arc actually contains some of the most brilliant political maneuvering, shocking secrets, and strategic gambles in the entire series. From calculated revenge to a medicinal pill that became a person, this arc is packed with details you probably missed. Subscribe if you're new here, and without further ado, let's begin. Number 16. The Falling Star Pavilion's revenge was carefully calculated, not a massacre. When the Falling Star Pavilion launched their 10-day revenge campaign, it wasn't just blind fury. It was a precisely calculated show of force. Xiao Yan and Yao Lao specifically controlled the scale of destruction, targeting exactly 20 sects that had aligned with the Profound River Alliance. They understood that necessary deaths would establish the Falling Star Pavilion's reputation as a force not to be trifled with, but excessive killing would brand them as bloodthirsty tyrants. This careful balance transformed the Falling Star Pavilion's image from a quiet, docile faction into what everyone now recognized as a ferocious tiger that would bite back when provoked. The message was clear: cross us and face consequences, but we're not mindless killers. Number 15. The Hall of Souls' silence was actually strategic preparation. Here's what most people missed during the revenge arc. The Hall of Souls remained completely silent throughout the entire 10-day campaign. They didn't send a single expert to help the Profound River Alliance, and this wasn't because they were afraid. Xiao Yan and his group understood the terrifying truth. The Hall of Souls was gathering its strength for something much bigger. By not engaging in small skirmishes, they were conserving their power to deliver a truly lethal blow when the time was right. This forced Xiao Yan's group to remain constantly vigilant despite their recent victories, because a mysterious faction, like the Hall of Souls and the Hun clan behind them, were always the most dangerous when they went quiet. Number 14. The Alliance had a specific priority order for a brilliant reason. The Falling Star Pavilion didn't randomly approach factions for the Alliance. They strategically targeted the Flower Sect and Burning Flame Valley first, even though these two weren't as powerful as the Pill Tower. Why? Because Xiao Yan and Yao Lao understood the domino effect. Once two major factions publicly committed to the Alliance, smaller sects would naturally swarm to join what appeared to be the winning side. This would create momentum and social proof before approaching the most crucial faction, the Pill Tower. Additionally, by setting the entry bar appropriately high after securing major factions, they could ensure the Alliance would only include quality members, not desperate stragglers who might become liabilities. Number 13. The Flower Sect's Grand Elders were far more powerful than anyone realized. What makes the Flower Sect's leadership structure absolutely fascinating is their dual Grand Elder system. These two elderly women in pale yellow clothes commanded more respect than the actual sect chief, Yun, despite appearing younger than many of the regular elders. The reason? One of them had reached the high-level Ban Sheng class, while her sister was an intermediate Ban Sheng. Together, they could fight the Profound Sky Sect's leader Tian Ming to a draw, and individually, the stronger sister eventually surpassed him entirely. This put them among the most powerful experts in the Central Plains, making the Flower Sect's agreement to the Alliance far more valuable than it initially appeared. Number 12. The Cold Grand Elder had a hidden romantic past with Yao Chen. Here's a detail that adds incredible depth to the Flower Sect's decision. The cold-looking Grand Elder who made the final call to join the Alliance had a history with Yao Chen. Her sister explicitly mentioned that back in the day, this Grand Elder had argued with their teacher because of that old fellow, Yao Chen. The implications are huge. This woman potentially had romantic feelings for Yao Chen years ago, which influenced her willingness to support his alliance despite the massive risks. Her sister even teased that Yao Chen doesn't really care about such things, suggesting unrequited feelings that never fully resolved. This personal connection became a hidden advantage Xiao Yan never even knew he had when securing the Flower Sect's support. Number 11. Burning Flame Valley's ancestor had one of the most unique personalities in the series. Ancestor Huo Yun of the Burning Flame Valley is absolutely hilarious, despite being an incredibly powerful expert. This red-haired old man with a fiery temper initially refused the alliance with complete impatience, literally throwing the scroll onto the table. But what makes him truly memorable is his outrageous suggestion that Xiao Yan should marry Donghua as a condition for joining, causing her to slam his back so hard he coughed. His personality perfectly matched his flame attribute Cultivation, and despite his gruff exterior and tendency to tease his descendants mercilessly, he genuinely cared about them. His eventual agreement to join came from a surprisingly principled stance about Xiao Yan's character. Number 10. Xiao Yan's strategic brilliance, offering help, regardless of agreement. What truly secured Burning Flame Valley's participation was a stroke of strategic genius that most people overlook. Ancestor Huoyun had a hidden trouble in his body that needed resolving, and the Falling Star Pavilion offered to help if he joined the alliance. That's standard negotiation. But here's the brilliant part. When Ancestor Huoyun asked what would happen if he refused the alliance, Xiao Yan said he would still help remove the hidden trouble anyway. This completely unexpected answer transformed the entire negotiation. Instead of feeling pressured or manipulated, Ancestor Huoyun recognized Xiao Yan's genuine character. He later admitted that without this final gesture proving Xiao Yan wasn't just using him, there would have been zero chance of agreement. This single decision showcased why Xiao Yan was becoming a true leader, not just a powerful fighter. Number 9. The Pill Tower was actually more crucial than both other factions combined. While the Flower Sect and Burning Flame Valley agreements were victories worth celebrating, Yao Lao immediately dampened everyone's excitement with a sobering truth. Without the Pill Tower, the Alliance still couldn't match the Hall of Souls. The Pill Tower possessed something irreplaceable, the ability to summon experts from across the entire Central Plains through their reputation and influence. As one of the legendary 3 towers they supplied medicinal pills to virtually every major faction, creating a web of connections and obligations spanning the continent. Their participation would cause the Alliance's reputation to skyrocket to heights the Profound River Alliance never achieved, because the Pill Tower's endorsement essentially meant the entire alchemist community was backing your cause. Number 8. The Pill Tower's neutral stance had never been broken in its entire history. What made convincing the Pill Tower so incredibly difficult was their ironclad tradition of neutrality. Since the Pill Tower's founding, they had never joined any faction or taken sides in any conflict, no matter how intense the situation became. This neutrality was what allowed them to maintain relationships with everyone and remain trusted by all factions when supplying crucial medicinal pills. Breaking this tradition would be an earth-shattering decision that could alienate countless factions who relied on the Pill Tower's impartiality. Even though many Pill Tower members personally hated the Hall of Souls, organizational tradition and the weight of centuries of precedent made the chances of them joining an alliance extremely low. Number 7. The main Elder Council used a democratic voting system with brutal finality. The Pill Tower's decision-making structure reveals why convincing them was so challenging. 10 elders comprised the main Elder Council, and decisions were made through simple voting. The 3 great heads, Xuan Kongzi, Xuan Yi, and Chen Leizi, each had 1 vote, giving them only 3 votes total despite their leadership positions. The remaining 7 elderly elders, many of whom were far more experienced and set in their ways, held the majority. Here's the brutal part. If the vote was split 5-5, or if the opposition had even a single vote advantage, the decision was absolutely final with no room for appeal. This meant Xiao Yan and Yao Lao needed to secure at least 5 guaranteed votes just to have a fighting chance. And even that would only create a stalemate. Number 6. The Pill Tower's ancestor is actually a sentient medicinal pill. Now this is where things get absolutely mind-blowing. The Pill Tower has an ancestor who serves as the ultimate decision-maker, and his true form isn't human. It's a Tier 9 Xuan pill. Centuries ago, one of the Pill Tower's founders spent the last year of his life exhausting all his strength to refine this pill. When he died, a strand of his spirit mysteriously entered the pill during its formation, causing it to undergo an incredible transformation. This Tier 9 Xuan pill developed intelligence, took human form, and essentially became a unique type of avatar of that ancient alchemist. Over the centuries, this ancestor has rescued the Pill Tower from destruction repeatedly, earning absolute authority. If he agreed to the alliance, it would happen. If he disagreed, there was zero hope. Number 5. The ancestor's experiencing life philosophy is completely insane. What makes this pill-turned person even more bizarre is his life philosophy. The ancestor loves to find pregnant women whose babies have died in the womb due to accidents. He then enters the mother's body using a special technique, essentially reincarnating as that baby. He'll be born, grow up, live a completely ordinary human life with all its joys and sorrows, and only leave that body when it naturally dies of old age. He calls this experiencing life, and he's done it countless times over the centuries. This means he could currently be anywhere in the world, possibly a baby, a teenager, or an elderly person, living a normal life with no one knowing his true identity. Finding him was basically impossible, and without him, getting the Pill Tower to break their neutrality became exponentially harder. Number 4. Old Demon Hou's rivalry with Yao Chen's spans, multiple decades. Old Demon Hou's bitter hatred for Yao Chen runs incredibly deep, dating back to the pill-gathering competition from decades ago. During that legendary championship, Old Demon Hou came in second place, losing the champion title to Yao Chen by just a narrow margin. This defeat became a thorn lodged in his heart that never healed. He spent the following decades trying desperately to surpass Yao Chen, but that moment never came. When he learned that Yao Chen's disciple Xiao Yan had also won the pill-gathering champion title with a 5-colored pill lightning, it was like reopening an old wound. His pedantic views and personal vendetta virtually guaranteed he would vote against any alliance supported by Yao Chen, making his potential entry into the main Elder Council an absolute disaster for Xiao Yan's plans. Number 3. The competition wasn't just about pride. It would determine the entire alliance's fate. What most people don't fully grasp is just how much was riding on Xiao Yan's competition against Old Demon Hou. If Old Demon Hou became a new elder of the main Elder Council, he would gain 1 vote. Combined with the other pedantic elders who oppose the alliance, this would create 6 votes against versus only 5 votes for. With even a single vote difference, the decision would be final. The Pill Tower would refuse the alliance, and without the Pill Tower, the alliance couldn't match the Hall of Souls. Everything Xiao Yan and Yao Lao had worked for, the 10-day revenge, securing the Flower Sect and burning Flame Valley, all the political maneuvering, would collapse because of one elder's vote. The pressure on Xiao Yan was absolutely crushing. Number 2, Xiao Yan had to face a 9-colored pill lightning challenge. The level of difficulty Xiao Yan faced in this competition was absolutely insane. Old Demon Hou had last demonstrated his full strength 2 decades ago when he successfully refined a pill that attracted an 8-colored pill lightning. After 20 more years of dedicated practice and refinement, he could now almost certainly produce a 9-colored pill lightning, the absolute peak for Tier 9 medicinal pills and something that even most legendary alchemists struggled to achieve. For Xiao Yan to win, he would need to at minimum match this achievement, meaning he had to successfully refine a Tier 9 medicinal pill despite having never refined one before. The experience gap was enormous. Old Demon Hou had been completely immersed in pill refinement for many decades, while Xiao Yan was still relatively young despite his incredible talent. Number 1. Xiao Yan's secret advantage, heavenly state spiritual strength. But here's what gives Xiao Yan a fighting chance that most people completely missed. During his 2-year closed-door training, Xiao Yan's spiritual strength underwent a massive transformation. He broke through from the soul state directly into the heavenly state, putting his spiritual power on the same level as Yao Lao and other legendary figures from the older generation. This is absolutely crucial for high-level pill refinement, because controlling a Tier 9 medicinal pill requires extraordinary spiritual strength to manage the incredibly volatile energies and complex refinement processes. While Old Demon Hou has decades more experience, Xiao Yan's heavenly state spiritual power combined with his recent breakthrough to 1-star Dusheng gives him the raw capability to attempt what should be impossible. The question isn't whether he has the power, it's whether his technique and understanding can match his overwhelming strength in time